Hi, in this tutorial we are going to create a scatter plot that shows 10 years of daily stock returns using the Ford Motor Company between March of '03 and March of 2013 as an example. So to get our data, we need to use Yahoo Finance. We're going to download our data and import it, and then we're going to calculate the returns, and then we'll create our plot. So we'll start at Yahoo Finance. I'll begin by entering F, which is the ticker symbol for Ford Motor Company. And then I'm going to scroll down and get historical prices. I'm looking for historical prices between March 13th, 2003 and March 13th, 2013. I'll click Get Prices, and they will be here probably on a number of pages. The way my computer works is I can't download it directly to a spreadsheet. I've got to save it as a file. So I right click and I say Save Link As. And I save it as a file name keeping that .csv file extension. So I'm going to call it Ford Daily 10 years 2, because I have another one right here that's daily for 10 years from earlier. All right. Then I'm going to open it. I'm going to try to open it. And what I want to do is, while I'm in this file, I'm going to calculate my returns, and then I'm going to import my returns. So I'm going to start by deleting all of this data. I don't need my opening price, the high for the day, the low for the day, any of that stuff. All I need is my date and my adjusted close price. So the first thing I'm going to do is highlight. If I highlight those first two in the row and then hit Command A, it highlights all of my cells. And when I have 10 years of daily data, that's a lot of cells. And then I'm going to sort it. There we go. And now I have '03 at the top and 2013 at the bottom. You can take my word for it, or we can scroll all the way down. There it is, 2013 at the bottom. Okay, the next step is to calculate daily returns. So my daily returns are going to be, starting on the 14th of 2013, it's going to be equal to the adjusted close price on the later day divided by the adjusted close on the earlier day minus 1. It's important that you sort them by date, otherwise you'll end up with non-meaningful data. And I can do that again here. Our newer value divided by our older value minus 1. If I click here and right click in the corner, it'll carry them all the way down. I want to highlight all of this row. Oh, please. I'll just have it calculate the formula again. And I'm going to turn that into a percentage with 2 decimals. Okay, so when I bring this over, I don't want to have to bring my adjusted close price, because all I want is my date and my daily returns. It'll make plotting it a lot easier. But if I delete this row, it screws up my entire set of daily returns because the cells that I was referencing to calculate them were deleted. So I'm going to undo that by doing Control Z. So what I want to do is copy this row, Command C, and then I'm going to come over here into column D and I'm going to double click or right click. And I'm going to use this command that's called Paste Special. And what I want to bring over, I don't want the formulas. All I want are the values, those percentages, and I want the format. Oh, it won't let me do that, will it? We'll just keep the values. Yours may allow you to do that. Oh, values and number formats. Okay, there it is. So here we go. We have the values and the number formats, but they don't reference any other cells. So now I can delete my adjusted close in my initial calculations and end up only with the date and daily returns. I don't want this work in this particular spreadsheet. I want it in my other spreadsheet, which you'll probably do because you're going to want it all in one homework spreadsheet. So I'm going to do Command C to copy it all, and then I'm going to close this. Excel wants to know if I want to save the changes. Nope. And then there's a large amount of information on the clipboard. I need to keep that information because I want to paste it to the next file. So here's my next file, plotting 10 years of daily returns with Ford Motor Company from 2003 to 2013. I hit Command and I hit V for paste. Do a little bit of formatting here. Okay, so to create our plot of daily returns, I'm going to get rid of this first row where it's March 13th because I don't have a return for that date. Then I'm going to use that same command that I used before, which is when I highlight both of these first rows and I hit Command A, and that means highlight all. I may have to do a trick. So you see what happens is I hit here and I Command A. Oh, good, it worked. I needed to add a space, otherwise it wanted to highlight everything in line with these merged cells, but it works. So I'm going to create a chart. I'm going to do a scatter plot with only the dots marked scatter. I don't need this daily return piece, and I don't need this daily return piece. So this doesn't look much like the chart on page 268 because these pieces are so clumped together and they're so large. So we're going to do a couple of adjustments. The first thing we're going to do is make this bigger. And get it into position. That helped, but not enough. So we're going to change the size of these points. So I right click and I want to format my data series. Then I'm going to choose my marker style. I'm going to choose the smallest marker that I have. And I'm going to reduce the size to the smallest size possible, which for my computer is 2. Now it looks a little bit more meaningful. There's a little bit more variety. We can see what's going on. I'll enlarge it a little bit. So we can see here that our highest value is up here from November 26th, 2008, when there was a 29% return. And our lowest value was from November 19th, 2008, when we had a loss of 25%. So I'm going to quickly jot those down, those two numbers down on a piece of paper, and then I'm going to go and format this axis. I click on it and then I right click, and I choose to format my axis. When I format the axis, I'm going to adjust these minimum and maximum numbers. So my minimum I'm going to set to negative 0.26, negative 26%. And my maximum I'm going to set to 31%. The reason for that is that my maximum value was 29%, 29.63, we can call that 30, and my minimum value was 25%. And then I'm only given every 10 percentage points here, and I would like to see some more. I'd like to see at least 5. That's the major unit. The major unit is the unit where you see the values. And so 0.1 stands for 10%, so 0.05 is going to stand for 5%, and now I have more values. I'm going to click OK, and we're going to see how it looks. It's looking better. Let's do something here with the x-axis. These numbers are difficult to read, and we also have this area here where we've got wasted space, and this area here where we have wasted space. So I'm going to select my horizontal axis, then right-click, and I'm going to format it. I want to format a few things. One thing is that Excel assigns every date a 5-digit number. And when we adjust these, we can't adjust them to just simply say 3/14/2003. I'm sure there's some way exactly to know what number to enter, but I do it by trial and error. I start and I say, okay, let's change this number. So this minimum is too low of a minimum, right? We're getting extra space, so this number needs to be higher. Let's start by changing this number to an 8. Well, when it butts right along there and it says 2005, I believe that's what it says, that's too much. So I'm going to go back to 2007, and I'm going to start adjusting this number. So I'm going to go to 37.6. That looks pretty good. What does 37.7 look like? It's butting right against it, so I'm going to do 37.6. And I'm going to plug in some numbers in the third, in the fourth, and the tens position, and that looks pretty good. I'm going to call that good. And then over here for the maximum, I'm going to need to swap these in their places so that we can see what's going on a little bit better. So 41,630 is our maximum, but that's a little bit too high. We can tell that because we've got extra space. So I'm going to play with this 6. I'm going to turn it into a 4. And that looks good enough for me. So by trial and error, I can expand my axes in order to make all my numbers fit. I say OK. I add a title. I'm going to call this Ford Motor Company Daily Returns 3/4/03 to 3/13/13 3/13/13. I don't need this key, and because I've got daily returns, that'll be good to go. Very noisy pattern, a wide variety of returns. Hopefully, most of them are above 0, and it would appear that that is so. So good luck, and email me if you have any questions.